Amazing. This is the Bathurst Marathon on 7. Hope you're enjoying something just a bit special with us today. Now, let's wind the clock back even further to 1977. This was a year that Ford fans still celebrate to this very day. To set the scene, Peter Brock had fallen out of favour with the Holden dealer team. He was driving for Bill Patterson Racing, and this particular year they ran an ambitious three-car assault. Alan Moffat had the support of the Moffat Ford dealers, and he ran the big Falcons with Le Mans great Jackie Ickx, plus a second car for Colin Bond and Alan Hamilton. The Holden dealer team was there with two cars led by John Harvey, and big names in the entry also included IndyCar star Johnny Rutherford, former world champion Jack Brabham ran with his eldest son Jeff, and a bloke from Europe came back, a young bloke by the name of Larry Perkins, to make his debut with the flamboyant Captain Peter Jansen, which of course became a rich chapter of success in Larry Perkins' career.
It is 8 o'clock. This is Bathurst, New South Wales, 135 miles west of Sydney. Population 21,000 people. Well known for its sheep grazing and light industry 364 days each year, but on the first Sunday in October, the world hears about Bathurst. Less than 3 kilometres from the heart of the city lies Mount Panorama and the undulating 6.1 kilometre road which winds up, over and down the mountain. For this road is the most famous motor racing circuit in Australia and the gathering point today for drivers from the United States, England, Belgium, West Germany, Japan, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia. They're all here for the great race.
Grice has made a sensational start to oust the Falcons and take second place. He just rubbed his shoulders around the outside of Hell Corner. A smaller car still pouring on the track. An Escort has stopped up there, and there's a waggle from the Gemini that just dodges him. Was the car that stopped, but the car that's going is Peter Brock. He has Alan Grice behind him, then the two Falcons right on his hammer, and the field pouring up the mountain for the first time. And Grice is out for the lead. Brock's in front. But look how much ground Alan Grice has made up on him. John Harvey, another great start. He's up there in 5th place, just behind the two Moffat Falcons. Grice is in 6th, a number to remember, and he's closing up all the time. This is not a 163-lap race. Grice is making a sprint of it from the start. Brock said he'd go as fast as they wanted to, and Grice must have heard the conversation. He's really provoking Peter Brock.
We'll just wait as they come across the top of the mountain, and a tremendous cheer going up from spectators. Just look at them, so thick up in the top part as Peter Brock is now still leading from Alan Grice, then the two Ford Falcons, then followed back by Johnny Harvey. Once again down through the dip, but the two Fords very close together indeed. Then the two Marlborough 2UE Holden dealer team cars as Basil von Ruin is now attempting to be started here in front of us, and he is underway. Peter Brock once again still leading from Alan Grice, the two Fords, then the two Marlborough Holden dealer team cars. And what a race we have in this first lap of the event.
It's Brock, Grice, Bond, Moffat. Then we have Harvey just leading O'Brien. That's the order as they come for the first time down Conrod Straight.
Actually, a person that got a very good start, Evan, was Kevin Bartlett. He's running it just behind the Holden dealer team cars at the moment. Got a very good start indeed.
Number 11 is the car Kevin Bartlett will be driving for Tirana, so watch for that. Grice closing under pace. Look at this. He has the legs on Peter Brock. Now the braking will be the fascinating part. Will Brock let him go? Will he try and outbrake him? They are flying, but Grice is going deeper.
There's no room for error here when they take this corner. Alan Grice playing what Johnny Harvey played in the recent Sandown race. That's go, and go for broke from the first lap on. Alan Grice in the Craven Mile Tirana hatchback leads from the pole sitter Peter Brock, then further back to Colin Bond. Well, and Alan Moffat now moving up into third. Bond drops back to fourth. The two Marlborough Holden dealer team cars followed through. Next by Kevin Bartlett, then the Bob Jane entry. That Capri still sitting there. It's in a rather precarious position as Bob Morris almost clipped the side of it going through.
Kevin Bartlett's car, the blue Tirana, you can see blowing a lot of smoke coming out of that corner. Doesn't look very good at all, only after 1.5, 2 laps.
We have a big problem, I've noticed, with a lot of these Tiranas blowing smoke. Rutherford has made a dramatic run through the field. He's made passed quite a few cars, and back in the pit shortly we'll be able to notice one of the Goss cars coming in. Meanwhile, up at the top, here's Grice throwing it around with plenty of abandon through the left-hander up now as we wait for the approach here. Look at Moffat closing on him as they come up through the top part of the course. Grice changing gears, looking for the big stick to carry him over the top of the mountain and keep Moffat at bay. And Moffat has decided he's going to go and run with them, at least for the first half hour of this race, and really see who has the top end speed to run. Gagan, Jane Carr also closing up smartly. Rutherford has moved up past about 6 or 8 cars, and we notice that also running well is the Jim Richards car up over the top of the mountain. And here's Grice at speed with Alan Moffat tucked in behind him, and the Ford fans on the top of the mountain are going wild. They want Moffat to pull out and pass down through this very demanding part of the circuit on the approach to the S's. And from our helicopter position, you can see the distance between these two cars. With Alan Grice, Alan Moffat on his tail, and Brock is not that far back, and Bond has closed up. So we have a great race going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, with Tirana out in front leading a Ford, a Tirana third, and another Ford is back and forth. And I think Moffat is going to make a very serious attempt to try and take Alan Grice for the lead.
He's passing on the right-hand side. Grice may just move across a little bit. Now he sees him coming. He lets him through. Now again, it'll be a braking duel. Moffat has the legs. Last time down the straight, timed at 156 miles per hour. Flying this time. All the late braking by Grice won't stop that lead. You'll see now they come down. A great scrap between Bond and Brock, which resolves itself into Brock slipping into third place there, and it's Moffat who'll be through with 160 laps to go. So it's Moffat, and a tremendous cheer from the Ford elements in the crowd. Now the flag is out, not waved. They know there's a car behind. That's what it needs. Grice in second spot now. After 3 laps, the lead has changed 3 times. Alan Moffat now leads on the way up Dunlop Mountain Straight. Grice pulling out to pass, has the legs on acceleration. He's just closing slightly as they come up. Here's a good view. Grice is going to pass. Oh, a very sudden move out to the right by Alan Grice to get on the inside. And he's got Moffat again under acceleration up the hill. Moffat fastest down the straight. Grice quickest up the hill. What a race we're in for. And Bond is trying to get by Peter Brock.
This is great. Oh, Brock there was just a little unsteady on that approach up over the top, and Grice, he's not going to give this one away very, very easily. He's going to race Moffat. He's perhaps faster in one little aspect of the circuit, but down the straight, Moffat appeared certainly to have the long legs with the Ford. Back further in the piece, we've noticed Colin Bond making a determined effort and has passed Peter Brock on the inside, going through Phillips. They're into the second lap, and I've noticed further back in the field, Rutherford has made a charge from 26th to 15th. So Rutherford is in the groove in the early laps of this race. Once again through the top, Alan Grice likes to throw the tail around. And once again, we'll come into this right-hander with Alan Moffat on his tail and Colin Bond. So it's a Tirana leading 2 Fords.
I heard someone suggesting this morning that the winner of the race would be one of the 3-litre cars because none of the big cars would survive. They are going so quickly that maybe he was right. This is a phenomenal pace for a 1,000-kilometre race. Grice and Moffat dicing. Bond is close right up. You can see how close he is now, right on the tail, and he'll make a move to get by them both.
Grice is going to have his hands full halfway down Conrod Straight because he tries to get out of the corner and then run as hard as he can. Brock taking a very wide line here. The 2 Fords are going for a bit of slipstreaming, and you'll notice both of them are about ready to attack Alan Grice here on the outside, halfway down Conrod Straight. Moffat pulls out, takes him on the outside, and we'll wait and see whether Grice will try and race him into the braking area.
He'll take Bond with him though, Mike, and Bond is moving into second place, and that'll drive the Ford fans crazy with excitement.
Here they come, but Grice is going to fight back on the inside of Colin Bond. Bond continues on. He's going very hard down the outside. Some team tactics here from Moffat and Colin Bond, effectively letting Bond through for the lead, and that was a very good manoeuvre. Bond will now lead, and the fans down here in pit straight are going to go wild with enthusiasm, and up go the arms as Colin Bond leads Alan Moffat and Alan Grice further back then on the outside to Peter Brock, then John Harvey, and then of course the Gagan Jane car. great situation for Alan Moffat to be in, with two-way communication, as I said earlier. Providing the drivers have two-way back to each other, Moffat can tell Bond to cool it, where to sit, to let him through, or where he's going to take him, or whatever. And they are perfectly set up for this year's race. Colin Bond leading Alan Moffat.
And behind them, Mike, Grice, Harvey, Rock, Gagan and Richards. So it's Falcon, Tirana, Falcon. A real Ford Holden sandwich.